Hey everybody, what is up? It's Old Surf Dad. Happy New Year to all. I wanted to let you know I have several videos coming for the approaching WSL fantasy season and also our first event, which is the Billabong Pro Pipeline on January 29th. But first, I thought we'd kick off the year with the Stab Surfer of the Year for 2021. Now, I'm a Stab Premium member. I really enjoy it, and I'm not sponsored by them. But recently, they sent me this email, and they said, hey, let's have you vote for who your favorite surfers are of the year. I want this to be participation. I want you guys to get involved. I want you to jump into the comments and tell me who you think you would have picked. All right, so here's a survey. Let's read the instructions first. It says, who were last year's best surfers? Write their names below, and for a chance to be featured, I don't care about all that. Number one, who were the top performing male surfers of 2021? Consider quality of surfing, contests, web edits, social edits, etc. So they're considering more than just contest surfers, okay? I get all that. And it also says share a few words on why you choose them. All right, so I'm going to jump right in with number one, and that is definitely Gabriel Medina. And I'm just going to put world title dominance. I mean, I wouldn't just normally put the WSL world title winner, but he was dominant throughout the season. If you remember, it all started with that air in Merriweather. He was in most every final of the year, and he just looked good from start to finish. I mean, you almost knew he was going to win, and then they put the burden of the WSL finals on his back, and he flew right through it. In fact, he did a backflip in it. So he's my number one. And number two, yeah, I know, Old Surf Dad, you're picking all the WSL guys, but hey, how do you spell Italo's name? I think it's E-R. Anyway, Italo, I'm going to say gold medal. Not just because he was number three. He actually ended up number 3 on the year. But I think his performances were incredible. He won a gold medal. And I don't know if any of you follow his Instagram, but he's constantly entertaining. And he's showing edits. In fact, most recently, he's done a couple airs. He's done a couple boosts that are insane. I think you should check him out if you're not following him on Instagram. It's entertaining, to say the least. And speaking of entertaining, number 3, Surf Dad is not going to pick somebody from the WSL. This is one of my favorite surfers, and year in and year out, he's always killing it, and it's Mason Ho. I mean, Mason Ho is surfing huge waves in Hawaii. I saw his edit on the... what is that thing called? It is called, oh yeah, Snap 4. His edit on Snap 4 where he does that, he kind of falls into that tube is insane. And then you mix that with his performances in Indonesia all year, and then he's surfing on top of rocks and against points with rocks, and most recently, you saw him in Mexico, and he won that Stab event where he surfed against Mikey February, and he surfed against Dane Reynolds, and it was awesome. So Mason Ho gets my number 3 pick. I love watching that guy, and if you don't follow him on YouTube, you absolutely should. And all this, there's going to be links in the description as like crazy of everything I talk about as usual. Number 4. So number 4 is going to be probably controversial. I was deciding between this guy and Kai Lenny, and I ended up picking Peter Mel instead. And I'm going to tell you why I picked Peter Mel. I picked Peter Mel, and just based on one wave, only one wave, but that wave was one of the most iconic waves we're going to see maybe in our lifetime. That wave was crazy. I know we're going to see other big waves surfed, but that was the pinnacle of his career, of his impressive career. And he also has I call it documentary called Everything and All on Stab. That's pretty interesting. I didn't love it as much as a lot of people did, but they kind of talk about how he built up to that wave and how he paddled. And he talks about how he had watched that wave over the years of where you need to sit to catch that wave, and he finally caught that wave. And if you don't know the wave I'm talking about, you have to check it out. Link in the description again, and I'll probably put it off to the side here. No, there, over there somewhere. Number 5. Number 5 is, I'm supposed to tell why. Mason Ho. Constant entertainment and great surfing. This keyboard sucks. I gotta get a new one. One iconic wave for Peter Mel. Number 5 is gonna be Barron Mamiya. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, you have to see this guy surfing. He is charging huge pipe. He's getting deep barrels. He's pumping in backdoor and making it out of barrels he should never make. But he's also doing Indonesian airs that are stupid. I mean, this guy does it all. And one of the things that appeals to me is the way he rips turns. Like, I'm a guy who loves old school surfing. And in fact, every one of the guys on this list do that pretty well. But Barron Mamiya just impressed me with the overall impact of how he surfs. So I'm taking him and saying impactful, well-rounded surfing. I mean, that says it all. So there's my top 5 men. And you're saying, well, why didn't you pick, and here, I got my notes right here. Why didn't you pick Kelly? Kelly's a good pick. He missed the entire Australian leg, and he still qualified with only 3 events. And I think it was pipe, Mexico. He did very well. Oh, and the goat pool, in his own wave pool. So I think that was impressive. I think you could have picked Morgs for this, the Aussie battler we didn't see coming. Morgan Sibilic is an easy pick on this list. I actually liked Connor Coffin, and I went back and forth. I love the way he turns. I mean, he probably has more old school carving, gouging turns than any of the people on this list. I really love his surfing. And then Zeke Lau is sort of, or I'll say Barron, the reason I picked Barron Mamiya over Zeke Lau is because I think Barron Mamiya is an unplugged, unfiltered version of Zeke Lau. Not to say that Zeke Lau doesn't surf great. He does. He's very well-rounded, as is Barron. But and he's going to do really well on the tour. But I just liked Barron surfing this year. And I'm not penalizing him for the Ultimate Surfer. I'm not doing that at all. Let's go to the Cola Brothers. The Cola Brothers could have been on here. Reckless Isolation kind of had their surfing on display, and you could have easily picked them. And then finally, I'm going to say the one who unfortunately didn't make this list because of injury is John John. And if you remember, John John had some incredible performances at Haleiwa, and he also had some incredible waves at those huge outer reef swells. He was charging that, man. That was some iconic stuff, and that was in the Maps of Home film, which we'll talk about later. But I really like John John for this list, but he just missed the entire middle of the year with injury, and that's unfortunate. And then he came back and he just got a 10 at Haleiwa again on a wave that he absolutely dominates. So he would have been an easy pick. I think also, speaking of that, is Jack Robinson could be on this list. A million people could have been on this list. Tell me what you guys think. Look at last year and put who your top 5 men are. Let's move on. Let's go to the women. This one's going to get really controversial. I'm number one is easy, and I hate to pick two world champions for the two number one spots, but both of them were dominant, and especially Carrissa Moore. Carrissa Moore, and I probably didn't spell her name right. World champ, gold medal, absolutely dominant. No one could beat her until, interestingly, Betty Lusakara and Gabriel Bryan beat her at Haleiwa, which might be a little hint of things to come. But right now, Carrissa Moore is the greatest women's surfer on planet Earth, without a doubt in my mind, and she gets number one for 2021. Easy pick. The next one is an easy pick for me as well. She could have probably been the number one, and it's Justine Dupont. Justine Dupont, again, kind of like a Peter Mel syndrome, that Jaws wave, that Jaws, let's call it barrel wave. That Jaws barrel wave is insane. I'll put it over there so you can watch it. It's kind of iconic like Peter Mel's, but to put on top of that is Justine Dupont is on every swell, whether it's Nazare or I don't know if she surfed Mavericks yet. I haven't seen much footage over there, but she's going to go to the biggest waves on the planet and charge, just like Maya Gabeira does. But for some reason, Justine Dupont has taken it to the next level. And she's really breaking barriers for women in the big wave world. And I respect the hell out of it. Number two, easy pick. Number three, it's funny. Her brother's at number three on the men's. She's getting number three on the women's. It's Coco Ho. And if you guys watch the electric acid surfboard test with Coco and Mason, you got to see her surf all different kinds of boards. She's super talented. Every time I look at her Instagram, she's got another clip of her ripping somewhere, whether it's Indonesia, a lot of great Hawaii surfing. I just enjoy the heck out of her surfing. I really love the way she hits the top. So I'm going to say, love her edits. I don't know. What else can I say? Number four. Number four is going in a whole nother direction, which I completely didn't expect. In fact, I probably had heard her name last year, but everyone knows her name now, and it's Erin Brooks. And Erin Brooks, if you don't know, I think she just turned 14. Incredible talent and massive airs. And I'm talking about she's punting like her own height out of the back of waves. And when I first saw her, I think she was 13. And she was in the Stab High event with the Ladybirds, and she won that in Costa Rica, which was incredible. I think in the first hour, she did this 360 air. That was incredible. I mean, it shocked everybody that was there. And ever since then, I've seen her in the Waco pool. I've seen her doing not just airs in Indonesia, but she can fully ride the barrel. I watched a clip of her where she's got her hands up, touching the top of the barrel, just kind of owning it. And now look, she's got a lot ahead of her. She's still going to grow into her body and get more strength. And I mean, everyone on the WSL should be scared because there's a lot of women coming. And the other woman that's coming that I'm putting on here, I'm calling them women. They're still girls. I think Caity's now 16, but they're going to grow into some of the most radical women on tour. And the other one is, I'm going to not stop, is Caity Simmers. And Caity Simmers, she got second, I think, in the Stab High event. But more importantly, she qualified for WCT. And I'm going to say she won the U.S. Open. And won the U.S. Open against some really high caliber competition. I mean, everyone was there, and she won that straight up. I think I'm going to say 2021, because her surfing was solid throughout. I love the way she turns. She can hit backside Rios like no one else. I just love the way she surfs. It's radical, and she also has incredible air game. So, Caity Simmers, there's my women's top 5. Who are your women's top 5? Let me know. And other women who could have been in there, I'm going to tell you straight up, there's a lot of Hawaiian girls, women who could have been in there, and they include Gabriel Bryan and Luana Silva and Betty Lusakara. All 3 of them are worthy. I just didn't pick them because I thought these women had more impact in 2021. And speaking of impact, the 2 I feel bad leaving off this list is the incredible surfing of Joanne DeFay. She had a great year on the CT, as did Tati. Both of them were ripping. Both of them surfed better than we've ever seen them surf before. So congratulations to them. And then the next, let's look at this next one. Who was the best male under 18 in 2021? Now, I don't know a lot of them, but I know this kid because I follow him on Instagram, and he's Shane Dorian's son. We're going to just put in Jackson Dorian. He gets a lot of hype, but I think he's worth the hype. The kid's ripping. I've watched a lot of clips over 2021, and every time his surfing's, it's different from his dad's. It's definitely, there's influence there, but the kid just is ripping and doing airs and doing everything he's supposed to be doing. And I don't know how young he is. Maybe he's 14 or 15, but he's another threat in the future for the WCT. And finally, best female surfer under 18. There's a bunch of them, and she's in that class who is shaking things up, and it's Sierra Kerr. Sierra Kerr, go watch some of her edits. Go follow her on Instagram. You'll be super impressed. I know you've already seen or heard of her. Josh's daughter is an amazing surfer. Now, we're going to move on to what was the best edit of 2021. Now, you know what, you guys? This is super difficult because it's also asking for the best film. The best film of 2021. Now, film and edit gets confusing here. Edit, I think of as just a solid person surfing throughout. I think their definition was 80% of one person surfing. So it's, anyway, I'm just going to tell you, I loved Just For Now by Ryan Callanan. Go watch that. Link in the description. I love Ciclo by Yagadora. Freaking amazing. If you want to see more of Barron Mamiya, Barron 21, or his section in Snap 4. Now, Snap 4 is strange because it's considered a movie, but it really, to me, it's a bunch of clips. And every single one of those sections is worthy to be in this best edit. So it's super confusing, but I'm just going to not carry this on any longer. I'm going to say that Tom Curran's Free Scrubber, which is a movie to me, is going to be the best edit just because I love Tom Curran. I'm going to just put it in there. Free Scrubber. The one that should be winning this, Free Scrubber. Why? Love for Tom Curran. I'm not going to lie. I tried to copy his style when I was growing up. He is who he is to us in the 80s and 90s, which maybe, Kelly was for you guys in the 90s and 2000s, which is now you guys maybe are copying, I don't know whose style, Asher Pacey, who's smooth, or maybe the air style of Italo Ferreira. I don't know. But Tom Curran was it for us. He was our influence, and I just love seeing him surf. And that's a quirky little movie. And I will say this, Vaughn Blakey made this, and he also made, what is it? He made Postcards from Morgues. And these are both genius little edits. And they have the Rip Curl logo, and it's sponsored by Rip Curl, but it's not overly so. And they let him do what he wants, and they certainly ran it loose on Free Scrubber. Freaking fun movie to watch. Link in the description. Check it out if you haven't seen it already. It's a lot of drone footage, but it's a lot of quirky Tom, and it's beautiful. So finally, what I did want to say was that Sonic Souvenirs, if that's an edit, that should have definitely been second place, or maybe I should even be putting in Sonic Souvenirs. Again, it's in the description. This is Mikey February, who is absolutely one of my favorite surfers just because he's so damn smooth. His style is so freaking pretty. And I know I've heard people don't like his style. I've heard people don't like this guy. I don't understand that at all. The guy's incredible. So watch some Sonic Souvenirs with Mikey February. You will not be disappointed. I can promise you, if you love surfing, you're going to love that. Last but not least, what was the best film? Now, I work, as you guys, some of you guys know, I work in the film business in Hollywood. I work on TV shows and movies. I feel like I know a bit about film because I'm involved in it. And when I hear film, I think there should be some creativity, some art involved. And there's no more creative or arty project than Dark Hollow. Dark Hollow has a few moments in it that are so brilliant, it's mind-blowing. And the slow-mo stuff in the dark and the board, how they did, I don't even know what to describe, and I don't want to ruin it. Oh, shit. What the hell? I'm going to put a clip of it over here. Dark Hollow, definitely, that was going to be my film. But I changed my mind at the last minute because everybody forgot about this film. And this film is Maps of Home. And it's John Florence. Maps of Home. JJF and friends in the swell of a decade. Maps of Home, again, link in the description. If you haven't seen some of these waves that they're catching, and it also has John's huge gouge in Haleiwa, which is one of the, probably one of my favorite turns of the whole year, if not the decade. I think you guys know what I'm talking about, that huge turn at Haleiwa on that wall. It just defines John surfing. And God, I'm really looking forward to it. I'm so excited. I'm really looking forward to see him surf this year. I hope he stays healthy because it's going to be amazing. And I'm not saying he's going to win. Gabriel Medina is going to have something to say about that. But I really love his surfing. I love their rivalry. Can't wait to see that all happen. But anyway, Maps of Home gets it for best film of 2021 for me. And finally, what is your Instagram handle? You guys know it. It's Old Surf Dad. Go follow me over there. I am done with this survey. And I did that whole thing in one take. It's probably pretty scuffed, but look, I'm going to Mammoth snowboarding, and I wanted to knock this out because I'm excited. There's like 12 feet of snow up there. It's one of the rainiest in Los Angeles where I live, but also one of the deepest snowfalls for December we've seen, I don't know, in forever. Can't wait to get up there. So there it is. There is the Stab Surfer of the Year. I have a lot of videos coming. I really appreciate you all watching. And hey, take care. We'll talk to you on the next one.